Hello friends, welcome everyone to your channel, the Erzon Front.
Before we begin, I hope you support the channel by liking the video and subscribing, as this is very helpful for the channel.
Okay friends, today is March 1st, 2026, and this is an update on the latest events happening in the war in the Middle East, a conflict that escalated, well, quite dramatically yesterday, even on our program. Well, as they call it in Iran, the supreme leader of Iran was martyred. We made that video quite late last night, well, because hours earlier we had made another video announcing that the final fate of Ayatollah Khamenei was still unknown. The truth is that the conflict continues to escalate. The United States has attacked important areas of the Islamic Republic of Iran, but Iran continues with its massive attacks on different bases. So greetings to all the friends watching us from anywhere in the world, especially to our channel subscribers. Having said all this, let's get started. Well, following the already known death of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, which was declared yesterday and confirmed by Iran, several images of national mourning in Iran arrived, but not only in Iran, also in other countries where citizens of those nations went to attack the United States consulates, for example in Iraq and Pakistan, and also in Lebanon. Many images of national mourning for the death of Ayatollah Khamenei due to these attacks carried out by the United States in Israel early yesterday morning. Protests also occurred in Iraq in front of the United States consulate. This is in Iraq, just in Iraq, not Iran, but in Iraq in front of the United States consulate. Here you can see these images and more images of national mourning in Iran. Now again, Iran. National mourning in Iran. Many people paying tribute to Ayatollah Khamenei, which largely contradicts all that was being said about protests in Iran and the situation there. It largely contradicts the Western narrative, which claimed that all these massive protests against the regime indicated support for its fall. That is not the case. As you can see, many people are showing support for the current Iranian regime. Of course, there is a succession and chain of command, as we explained yesterday. Here we see more images, protests in Pakistan, in front of the United States consulate. Apologies for my slightly broken voice from so many videos we have made. By the way, we will also make videos about the conflict in Ukraine, so expect news about that. This is Karachi, Pakistan, in front of the United States Embassy. Protests also in Pakistan over the death of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. And this conflict continues escalating, a conflict that now has global implications. Today, even Ayatollah Ali Reza Arafi has joined the Interim Leadership Council and will assume the position of acting supreme leader. This is how Ayatollah Ali Reza Arafi reported it. Another Ayatollah, in this case Ayatollah Shirazi, declared jihad against the United States and Israel. Previously, the Secretary of Iran's National Security Council declared that today Iran would attack the United States and Israel with a force they have never experienced. As you can see, the conflict continues escalating, dear friends. The situation is becoming increasingly complex. We have many images of attacks in Israel as well as on United States bases. President Pezeshkian also spoke, saying the following: "Our dear leader, Imam Khamenei, was martyred at the hands of the evil Zionist American alliance, and I offer my condolences to the Iranian nation. The Temporary Leadership Council, composed of myself, Mr. Ege, President of the Supreme Court, and Ayatollah Arafi, whom we already mentioned, has begun its work. Here is Ayatollah Arafi, who has started his duties and will continue along this path. We will drive our enemies to despair, destroying their bases and all their military capability."
We must remain united against the enemy's plans, a strong statement from Iranian President Pezeshkian. So, this is the situation, dear friends, and of course we are now moving on to the attacks on the map. Attacks from all sides. What can I tell you? Attacks from all sides. We should first mention the attacks carried out in the last hours against the capital, Tehran, by the United States and Israel, especially against the General Staff headquarters in Iran. Many attacks, many images we have here, not only here but also in videos we have uploaded to the players we have installed. Here are important images of the attacks on key headquarters in Iran. This is March 1st, dear friends. The truth is that the strikes have been from all directions. In the western area of the capital, also in the western zone of Iran, direct strikes from the United States and Israeli air forces were recorded. But do not despair, because we have very important images of Iran's strikes on U.S. bases throughout the Middle East, and of course, also on Israel itself, which has been brutally hit in the last hours. This is in Crimea, a strike in Kermanshah as well, near the Iranian missile program. Another strike also near Isfahan, where the areas of the nuclear reactors are located, or rather the nuclear program, to put it better. Another strike by the Israeli-US coalition in Diyala, further west, but this is already in Iraq. Many strikes. We have more last-minute images that have arrived in the most recent minutes. A strike on the General Staff Headquarters in Iran. Honestly, the U.S. and Israeli air forces are operating with almost total ease. This is the western zone of Tehran. Another strike by the U.S.-Israeli air forces, which we cannot deny. They are striking, and heavily, but Iran is responding. This is not the Iran of 2026, although in some ways, some mistakes have been made. Well, the truth, as we always say, those who do not know history are condemned to repeat it. And here are strikes also launched by the U.S. and Israeli air forces. Sabalan Street in Tehran, the capital, was also hit by another strike from U.S. and Israeli air forces in the last hours. Here we can see the thick black smoke over the facilities. Another strike, as we can see here. All of this is happening, but rest assured, we also have information on Iran's strikes on key U.S. bases and also on Israel. Here is another strike on the General Staff Headquarters. You can see the smoke rising completely in the last hours. We are bringing you last-minute images. All this is happening in Tehran, as you can see. But Iran also has its response, and the responses are coming from all sides. First, tankers have been attacked in the Strait of Hormuz. This is the first point, but we must know that Iran has been attacking constantly. It continues attacking U.S. bases in Kuwait. More than 14 or 15 U.S. bases are reported attacked in these countries. Even a French base, note, a French base, was reported at the last minute to have been attacked in the United Arab Emirates. We will be showing all of that. First, let me tell you that Iran is attacking U.S. bases in all these countries, from Oman to Kuwait, also in Iraq. U.S. bases have been attacked in the last hours, and of course, Israel, where we have last-minute images showing everything that is happening. First, let's start by telling you that a tanker right in the Strait of Hormuz has been completely destroyed. We will be showing it. A tanker in the Strait of Hormuz has been completely sunk. A tanker, according to the latest last-minute information, was transporting oil. That is why oil prices are rising. This was in the Strait of Hormuz. Here we can see it as well, the strike on the tanker in the Strait of Hormuz. Here we can see it better, but get ready because now we will show many images of Iranian missiles arriving at shelters, air raid shelters in Beit Shemesh, in Israel, where they were brutally hit, and even the shelter where they were apparently hiding destroyed, including important resources of the Israeli army in Beit Shemesh. Right there we have more images of this strike. Here was the Iranian strike, which in the last hours has reported many deaths among Israeli resources. Here you can see part of the arrival, the Israeli defense trying to respond, but it was not enough. The strike was direct.
Here comes again another angle of the attack in Beit Shemesh, Israel. A direct strike from Iranian missiles operating 24/7. This is truly a brutal war at the moment. Many missile and air attacks. Here are images showing the aftermath, and many people are reportedly trapped under the rubble. Many people are under the debris where strikes have completely hit. And well, there you can see it, a direct strike. Here you can see the air raid shelter in Beit Shemesh, completely destroyed by Iranian missile attacks. Here is Ali Makan. Strikes and more strikes, really brutal attacks carried out by Iran, defending itself decisively. More images of the destruction in Beit Shemesh. Many people have been pulled from under the rubble. The death toll is rising. At least 10 people have already died at this moment while we are making this video. Here you can also see images of people being pulled from under the debris. Yes, this is the strike on Beit Shemesh. Israel is also suffering from Iran's strikes. Here you can see the arrival of the missile. Let's see the angle. Well, here it is not visible. Now, yes, it falls right at this moment, and you can see on the left how the direct strike hits Beit Shemesh in Israel. Important images we are bringing you right now. but there are also strikes on U.S. bases, as we said, from Oman to White. Let's start with Oman. Oman was also hit, a U.S. base in Oman targeted by Iran. There we can see it. This is Oman. The U.S. base in Oman is completely burning. Direct strike. There we can see it. The conflict is escalating completely, dear friends. Well, these are some of the most striking images. A strike on the French base in Abu Dhabi, the capital of the United Arab Emirates. A brutal strike, I repeat, on the French base. Let's look at this base in the UAE. Here is the French naval base, not even US, so NATO could be involved. A strike on the French military base in the UAE, destroyed by Iranian missiles, also shown on our channel. Here is the strike, and we have many images of strikes on the French base. This is in Abu Dhabi, the French base completely hit, a naval base. Here we see more images from the UAE, completely hit. Well, Iran has launched attacks on all these positions in all these countries.
Here is an image of France burning, the French naval base hit in the UAE. Many strikes in the last hours. The international airport hit yesterday. More strikes in Bahrain. Bahrain was also completely hit in the last hours, but the most striking is the attack on the French military base in the last hours. The conflict is escalating completely. Tremendous, truly tremendous. Many explosions, as we saw yesterday at airports. Here we can see these images. Abu Dhabi, strike in the capital of the UAE. Burj was also hit by missile attacks launched by Iran. Yes, all these facilities. The CIA headquarters was also hit, by the way, in Dubai. Remember, there are many U.S. investments in Dubai. The CIA headquarters was also hit. Here is the direct strike. Iran is attacking with everything, dear friends, truly with everything. The truth is this is reality. Many U.S. bases are being hit, not only military bases, but also investment centers, as we have mentioned several times. Fire in Dubai. Incredible, isn't it? What is happening, dear friends? Incredible. Beautiful cities like Dubai, Abu Dhabi are being hit, but really it wasn't the Iranians who started. Here is the French naval base we mentioned. Here we can see it better. The explosions across the French naval base, U.S. and French naval bases. Look at how the French naval base is burning. Incredible, but true. Iran attacking bases that could even be NATO bases. Yes, the French naval base in Abu Dhabi is completely burning. Incredible, but true, dear friends. Iranian strikes are increasingly brutal. There you can see it. Incredible, but true. These are the consequences of the war launched by the United States and Israel against Iran. Another strike on one of the headquarters and skyscrapers in Abu Dhabi, where U.S. investment centers are also located. Many strikes, really. This was in the UAE. Qatar continues being hit as well. Radars destroyed, although yesterday it was shown that this image was artificially created, basically. Well, the truth is many images of all kinds that we bring you on our channel right now. This is in Qatar. Remember that the geopolitical military front works with maps, and maps make it clearer. This is in Qatar, so you know where it is. Sometimes we don't know where all these countries are. Many are small countries, but very close to Iran. Here we showed descriptions of the missiles Iran uses to launch these attacks. Kuwait International Airport was also hit. Here you can see massive Iranian attacks defending itself, dear friends. With this information, we're ending our program for now. Later, we will bring you an update on the conflict in Ukraine, which is also heating up, so expect an update, because many media outlets are only broadcasting Iran, but they forget there is another conflict a bit further north, the Ukrainian conflict. We will cover it here on Geopolitical Military Front. So see you later, dear friends. Thank you all for your attention. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the Erzon Front so you receive notifications of the videos we upload daily. Thank you for your attention, and may God bless you all. Okay, friends, see you in the next program. Later.